Old Hillbilly Joe here. How y'all doing today? It's story time with coffee. Now, we're going to take you and we're going to go to Genesis 2, verse 7. And this is what Jehovah God Yahweh went on to form the man out of dust from the ground and to blow into his nostrils the breath of life. And the man became a living person. Furthermore, he put and planted a garden of Eden. Okay? This is where he put man who he had formed. Now, Jehovah God, Yahweh, made to grow out of the ground every tree that was pleasing to look at and for food. Also the tree of life in the middle of the garden and the tree of knowledge of good and bad. Okay, now, since he made Adam, right, and blew into his nostrils the breath of life, he gave him life. Okay, now this is what we're going to look at. This is what we're going to look at. Then Jehovah God, Yahweh, right, said, "It is not good for the man to continue to be alone. And I'm going to make a helper for him as a complement of him." Okay? Why did he do that? Because so the man named all the domestic animals and the flying creatures of the heavens and every wild animal of the field. But for man there was no helper as a complement of him. So Jehovah God caused the man to fall into deep sleep, and while he was sleeping, he took one of his ribs and then closed the flesh over its place. And Jehovah God Yahweh built the rib that he had taken from man into a woman, and he brought her to the man, Adam. And the man said, "This is my last bone of my bones, and the flesh of my flesh. The one will be called woman, because from man she was taken." Now, if we're looking at that verse, Jehovah God Yahweh made a helper for the man because there was no companion for him. That is why man will leave his father and his mother, and he will stick to his wife. Now, this is the first time the word wife was mentioned, which is Genesis 2, verse 24. Now, it's kind of weird that they changed the word helper to his wife. Now, if you analyze this talk we're having here about a helper versus wife, well, you got to think about where in history did the word wife come from, and you have to analyze when the first marriage certificate was created and created by whom. Now, God did not make it, or Jehovah or Yahweh, right? The word wife. He said in the beginning, "It is not good for the man to continue to be alone. I'm going to make a helper for him. Where's that? Genesis 2:18. Now, the changing of the word is a different meaning. So if you look at the word meanings, it's totally different. Okay? Now, some people might disagree on the fact, no, Eve was his wife. Well, it's all based on how you interpret the wordage and the changing of the wordage. The translators of each one of these in the scriptures depends on your translating it, the word. Okay, some people translate it, the word, into a different language, and when you translate it from a different language, the meaning of the word becomes different. Now, was Eve a helper or a wife? Well, if you look at this, she was a helper. Some people will look at it as wife, depending on how they interpret it, how they translate the words from the ancient Hebrew writings. Now, some languages use wordage to translate the word of the ancient Hebrew's word, and then it becomes a different meaning. Well, some people might disagree with me. Some people might agree with me. But Adam had a helper. Okay? There was no marriage ceremony. There was no marriage certificate of anything like that. Now God, Jehovah Yahweh, He blessed them and told them here in Genesis 1, right? He said to them, be fruitful and become many, fill the earth and subdue it, and have in subjection the fish of the sea and the flying creatures of the heavens and every living creature that is moving on earth. Now, what does that mean? God's purpose for Adam and Eve, okay, was to take care of all the living creatures and all the vegetation and take care of everything on earth. But the main reason was to be fruitful and become many, which means God, Jehovah Yahweh, His purpose for humans was make lots of babies, okay? Fill the earth with humans, okay? And take care of His creations, His fish, His animals, everything. Don't abuse it and don't waste it, okay? He said, cultivate every tree and seed-bearing fruit, okay? Cultivate the earth, all the vegetation, take care of the animals. So his main purpose for Adam and Eve, his helper, was to make many babies. Okay, old Hillbilly Joe, till next time.